Danquah was a son of J.B. Danquah and he was gay. We will find out more. Now, we are not talking about him because he was gay. We're talking about him because he was a son of J.B. Danquah. And the achievements that he was able to table around his life. This is the African History Club. Now, J.B. Danquah had a lot of allegiance to the British. He was a Ghanaian bourgeoisie. In other words, he was actually a high-class Ghanaian living in opulence. In fact, they were always in suits. They drank tea in the hot afternoon. They behaved like black British right here in Ghana. In the days of colonialism, the more you behave like the British, the more you were respected amongst the British. And even some black people accorded you so much respect because they believed that you were a man of substance. These are the days I'm talking about. Paul Danquah was born on the 25th of May in 1925. Hey, are you marking the date? Please, this is very important to me. He was born in 1925. His father, J.B. Danquah, was 30 years at the time. J.B. Danquah himself was born on the 18th of December in 1895. In fact, he was actually 29.5 years old when he gave birth to Paul Danquah. Now let's go deeper into this story. Oh my God. Ha! J.B. Danquah's wife was called Bertha May Walcott. Bertha May Walcott. And from his color, you could tell that she was white. Right? My brother, my sister, let's get deeper. He was born in London in 1925. And he was born Joseph Paul Walcott. Did you hear that? Joseph Paul Walcott. No Danquah was added to his name because they did not want him to feel Ghanaian. They did not want him to feel African. He was raised like a white boy on the streets of London. His father's name is what? J.B. Danquah. And J.B. Danquah stands for what? When you look at the Danquah in the name, it points straight up to Ghana. My brother, my sister. But they decided to take the Danquah out and keep the Joseph there. So he became known as Joseph Paul Walcott. 100% British. No Ghanaianness in him. My brother, my sister. Now listen to more information. Hey. My brother, my sister. His mother was called Bertha May Walcott. And she was a white woman, English. He was raised like an aristocrat. He was the eldest of J.B. Danquah's children. From his many children that he had. From 2 marriages and various relationships. Did you know that? J.B. Danquah was married 2 times. And he had children from several other relationships. Did you know that? He had many children. Maybe they were ashamed of him and decided that they will cut all links with him and Ghana. My brother, my sister, he studied law and was called to the bar at the Inner Temple. My brother, my sister, he became a very, 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 listen to this positive thing I'm about to say. He grew up attending school in England. Listen attentively. This is very important. That's why I chose this story. He was called to the bar at the Inner Temple. And then he insisted that he wanted to also school in Ghana. Even though they cut him away from his Ghanaian roots, he forced the Danquah into his name, even though not official. His documents all said he was Joseph Paul Walcott. But anywhere he went, he told them he was called Paul Danquah. He came to school in Ghana, where he also studied law, the bar right here in Ghana. And then he went to Washington, D.C. and studied there as well. In fact, he subsequently worked as a consultant with the World Bank until his retirement in 1986. Paul Danquah, he penased him too. He became a Pan-Africanist. Yes, he wanted to be called African. So he decided, even though he was raised as a British aristocrat, a bourgeoisie, he picked up his Ghanaian name, Danquah, and followed it all the way to this country. Whilst living in Washington, he befriended an African-American axe practitioner who I'll be talking about later. He was also friends with Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, Roberta Flack, and Nina Simone. These were great people. They've all passed into eternity now. My brother, my sister. And while still a student, Paul Danquah made his acting debut in the British movie A Taste of Honey. Hey. Now, A Taste of Honey came out in 1961. Oh, yes, 1961. And it was a blockbuster, big one. Even though he played a small role in it, he was so recognized. He acted in that movie as Jimmy, A Taste of Honey. A review in the New York Times at the time noted, Paul Danquah in his movie debut as the Negro sailor is gentle and subtle in a small but demanding role. He never hid his African identity, even though his parents meant for him to be a British aristocrat. He represented Ghana everywhere he went and presented the BBC 2 television series Play School in 1965, 4 years after A Taste of Honey came out. He was known all over England. My brother, my sister. Now, there was a painter who he befriended called Francis Bacon and lived with Danquah. He also had a friend by name Peter Pollock. And Peter Pollock was his wife. It means they were gay. Peter Pollock died on the 18th of July in 2001. Danquah himself died in 2015, 14 years after. My brother, my sister, today we are looking at an interesting thing. Hey. Danquah loved Africa. In fact, he moved with his gay partner, Pollock, to Tangier in Morocco. You know what Tangier is, right? It's a city in northwestern Morocco on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Hallelujah. In fact, This city is the capital of Tanga Tekwan Al Husseima. Yes, Husseima. My brother, my sister. He moved with his gay partner to Morocco. And you know Morocco is all about Islam. Islam. But he moved with his gay partner to an Islam-dominated area. My brother, my sister, they lived quietly in the late 1990s. Danquah and Pollock discovered a suitcase containing drawings by Bacon, Francis Bacon. You remember Brother Francis Bacon that I talked about? And these drawings were acquired by the Tail. Yes, the Tate. Yes, it's an institution that houses in a network of 4 art galleries. In 1996, it was acquired by Tate, T-A-T-E, and exhibited in 1999. But Danquah didn't live long. He died on the 13th of August 2015 at the age of 90. In fact, he lived long, 90 years. After the passing of his gay partner, Peter Pollock, 14 years later, he also gave up. According to his niece, Mary Nana Ama Danquah, who is a Ghanaian American writer, editor, journalist, and public speaker, whose name at birth was Mildred Mary Nana Ama Boachiwa Brobi. She now simply wants to be known by only her African names. She's taken away the Mildred and the Mary. She changed the Mary to Mary, M-E-R-I. Look at how Danquah's children embraced Pan-Africanism. Even though this one was orchestrated to be British, raised to be British. He was buried in Bubana. Yes, Bubana, B-O-U-B-A-N-A, Bubana Cemetery, beside his gay partner, Peter Pollock, as he had requested in his will. He was never buried in Ghana. My brother, my sister, the story of Paul Danquah. This is all time will allow us. I was going to go deeper, but time would only allow us to do this. Today, we have been talking about Paul Danquah, a son of J.B. Danquah, who lived all his life as a gay man. In fact, look at him here dressed in kente. He was so proud of his Ghanaian roots. He achieved a lot for himself, and he always remained Ghanaian. Today we remember you. Uni yaminko wate. Paul Danquah, Miss Uni yaminko. Oh, Paul Danquah. Miss Uni yaminko, Uni yaminko, Namrifa Due ni amane uno. Uni yaminko. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know the story of Paul Danquah, who was originally born Joseph Paul Walcott, what would you do? Be an any lay mini oba fe yazuna kagane mezaka yide ya pabango bokaya nung fifia yenyanu kaina wabana webe den lele anjima singa be konne lele anjima singa beri. It's been the African History Class.